Good morning, Scholars Room 502. Welcome to Benchmark Language Arts. Today we are going to review Week 2 strategies, or it's actually kind of a lot of weeks ago. We took our time to unlock text. So let's see what we got going on. After today, you will be able to participate in discussions by being prepared, following discussion rules, asking and answering questions, and reviewing key ideas. You'll be able to paraphrase content from reading and present ideas using formal English. During Week 2, we practice strategies to learn more about point of view. We practice the strategy of writing a first-person descriptive narrative by writing from the point of view of Lad from Quiet in the setting of Waiting for Stormy. Now, not all of us did this writing, but Mr. Leggett did some of it. And you remember I came from Lad's point of view when he was dropped off at the Pony Ranch and Waiting for Stormy, and he had to guard all the animals. Remember, I just wrote the beginning of that story. We didn't get to the middle or the end, but we did plan it. And this week we will use these and other strategies while reading a longer selection called My Breaking In, and you're going to compare the effectiveness of first and third person narrative. Let's reflect on the strategies we used last week to learn about point of view. Well, when I think about point of view, I'm going to put first and third. And you don't have to write this down. What's the one pronoun, or a pronoun we come across a lot in first person point of view? Remember, it's coming from the one we wrote out was Lad's point of view. So that pronoun we use is I. We could also see me or mine, because they're talking about themselves, right? Their perspective, their point of view. In a third person point of view, we see a lot of them, they, she, he, her, and him. That's a big difference between first person point of view, where the narrator is telling you the story, and a third person point of view, where an all-knowing narrator, sometimes all-knowing, sometimes not, is telling you the story. For example, I'm trying to think of something that happened to me that I thought was really interesting the other day. What was it? Oh yeah, I came across a centipede that was this long. I haven't seen a centipede that long in Southern California. So if I was writing that from the first person point of view, I could say I went out yesterday morning to check on the sprinklers, and I looked down and I thought I saw a worm, but I looked a little too thick to be a worm. I was going to throw the worm back onto the grass because I know worms are good for soil. And when I looked closer, it was a big centipede. I was a little afraid. I was taken back seeing something that big from the insect world right there on the patio. So I got a pair of tongs and threw it up on the hillside. Now, if I came from a third person point of view, you would say, the narrator would say something like, Mr. Leggett went outside to check on the sprinklers. He saw what he thought was a worm on the ground, and he was going to pick it up and throw it into the lawn because he knew that earthworms were good for the soil. See, that narrator can read my mind. However, he got a closer look and he was a little afraid, and he jumped back and he realized it was a big centipede. So we could see the difference between a first person point of view and a third person point of view. Now, if you were in class, you would move to a small group to discuss these questions about first-person point of view. And those are, what did you learn about Lad when writing from a first-person point of view? I think we learned more about his feelings, how he feels about himself and how he feels about other animals. And what did first-person point of view reveal about the events and characters of Waiting for Stormy? Well, once again, remember we had Lad, and he was looking at the animals, Watch Eyes and Billy Blaze, he thought were silly, and he liked the horse, Misty, because she was quiet, and he liked the chicken even, or the hen, because she wasn't afraid of other animals. So what information is not revealed in a story told from a first-person point of view? Well, think about it. When I was writing first-person point of view from Lad's perspective, he didn't know the thoughts of Misty. He didn't know the thoughts of Billy Blaze and Watch Eyes. He didn't know thoughts of and what was going on elsewhere. He didn't know the thought about how his master felt back at the ranch, or back at the place. He didn't know how his new master felt back at the Pony Ranch. So those are just some answers to those questions. So if you were here, I'd be calling on you to come on up and discuss these questions and what you learned about Lad, how third and first person are different, and so on. So remember, a first-person narrator can reveal more about his or her own character by describing inner thoughts. We can discuss how first-person point of view may provide less information about other characters' thoughts and feelings, or about settings where the narrator is not present. Like Ladd couldn't tell us about the thoughts. I mean, he kind of tells us about the feelings of Billy Blaze and Watch Eyes. He knew they were silly and playful, but he didn't know what they were thinking. So that's what we would be doing if we were in class, and we'd be using formal language to discuss all this. Tomorrow we're going to start reading the new story, My Breaking In. And I know a lot of you love horses, and this is a classic tale of a horse. And we will dive in that tomorrow. Thank you so much for being a great class. I look forward to seeing you next year, next school year. Bye for now.